pleased to say we've got our royal correspondent, Rhiannon Mills, for more on this, who's up in Southport. So, Rhiannon, look, the first time, as it's been described, as a community visit that we've seen Kate since that diagnosis.
That's right. So it was yesterday that we were told in advance that Prince William was going to be making this trip here to Southport. I think for the couple, they have been deciding for a while now when was going to be the best time to come and to show their support for the community. I was told back in the summer that they were, like so many other parents, horrified by what happened back in July in terms of that attack on that dance class. And it's particularly poignant for them because their children are around the same age as some of those young children who were killed and others who survived that attack. Also, you'll remember that Prince William took 2 of his children to a Taylor Swift concert as well. So when we heard yesterday that Prince William was going to make the trip up here to meet some of the families, it was, I think, a possibility that the Princess was also going to join him. But it was only around lunchtime today that we were told that she was going to make the visit alongside him. And I was just listening in to a meeting that they held with some emergency responders, because that was, again, part of the visit. There were 2 parts to it. The first, meeting up with the families of those 3 young girls who lost their lives, but also coming up here to meet up with the emergency responders and really give their heartfelt thanks for everything that they did that day for the families who lost their children, but also for the children who managed to run away and survive. And you could tell that for the couple, this has been a deeply upsetting day in many ways. They heard from the families. They spent around half an hour with each family, but also listening to what the emergency services went through on that day. It's not been an easy day for the couple.
Yeah, and as we're looking at these pictures of them arriving, Rhiannon, I guess that many will be wondering just how well Kate is feeling. Of course, as I said, on September the 9th, that video was put out where she said that she'd finished her chemo and she was looking forward to being cancer-free and doing all she can to stay cancer-free. From your sense of how they were, how does she seem? And she seems well.
She seemed well, but as we heard a month ago when she released that video, she is still going through this cancer recovery. Yes, her treatment may have finished, but both mentally and physically, she needs to look after herself if she wants to stay cancer-free. And that is why we are only likely to see her carrying out a handful, really, of public engagements between now and Christmas. We know that she is likely to appear for Remembrance Sunday alongside other members of the family. We, of course, saw her in the summer, both at Wimbledon and at Trooping the Colour. But I think today was a really important moment for her and for Prince William alongside her. We haven't seen the couple doing a joint community visit like this one since the end of last year. It's been a very long time. And for them as parents, they were horrified by what happened in the summer, but they are both also in this really unique position, which means that I suppose after the news agenda has moved on, as people are focusing on other stories around the world, as the royal family, they are able to come back to Southport. They are able to say to the families, we haven't forgotten you. They're also able to come and speak to those emergency responders who have had, I suppose, weeks and months to relive what they saw that day. And the conversations they were having proved that for those emergency workers, it's really difficult for them to move on in many ways from what they saw. And so I think for the Prince and Princess, today was a really important moment. They wanted it to be as private as possible. Inevitably, and they know this, there was going to be a huge amount of focus, huge amount of attention whenever the Princess decided to step out and do that first community visit. But I think this was one that was so poignant for both of them that they had to be there alongside each other. And now, as they head back home, they will no doubt talk about the experience that they've shared today and those very difficult conversations they had with the families of those 3 little girls who lost their lives.
Yeah, and I guess this is as low-key as a visit by royalty can be to to anywhere in the country. And you mentioned that, you know, they would have wanted to have done this together. And this, I guess, speaks to the work that the couple, the royal family, want to be seen doing, being able to be that sort of mesh that kind of binds together communities and show the support that the royal family have for communities all over the country.
Well, I think when the stabbings happened back in the summer, there was a lot of discussion at the time about when will there be a royal visit. And of course, the King did make his own visit back in August, where he met some of the families of the surviving children. He held a tea party. He saw the flowers that were being left by the community. But I think also for the Prince and Princess, it was then about deciding, well, when do we go? When do we decide to go back? And when do we decide to bring that focus back onto Southport and show just how much the nation still thinks about what happened here? And if you think about it, now in some ways was a perfect time to come back, especially as the school term has started. It hasn't been an easy time for this community. Many people were so horrified by what happened that day. So many people can think about their own families and their own children. And yet the news agenda does move on and things change. So for the Prince and Princess today, I think coming back, they have wanted to show the families that they've been thinking of them